Hello, veterinary peeps. Today I want to talk to you about a pet peeve of mine. It's when someone says, it's not my job to train. Really? It's not? No, it's not my job to train because you have to understand when I came here, no one trained me. I figured it out. This new person, these people, they need to figure it out. It's not my job to train them. I mean, I'm too busy. I am too busy. We just need to find a help that is actually trained. We can't be getting these new people in here. It's not my job to train them. That is such a pet peeve of mine. First of all, it is a form of hazing, and unfortunately, it's a common form of hazing. We see this in the human nursing industry, and we see it in the veterinary technician industry. Unfortunately, it's so common, it probably happens in almost every single one of our practices. In every single one of our practices, there's at least one, two, or maybe even more people that truly believe they do not have any social responsibility in helping someone grow and learn new skills or knowledge. It's not their job to train. So here's a little bit of a life lesson. I'm going on 25 years next year. It kind of makes me a little bit old in this profession, as most individuals are under the age of 35, and well, I am not. And I'm here to tell you that in my younger, more cynical years, I truly did believe that. I thought, you know what? No one trained me. I graduated from school, and the skills and knowledge that I had going into my first job, I built on those. Every so often, someone would throw a bone to me and say, hey, if you do this or if you do that, life might be a little bit easier. But I read books. I opened up things. I had to learn on my own. I went to continuing education, and I grew and I advanced most of my own skills and knowledge. Everything that I learned, it was because of trial and error, watching someone, and then just doing it. So I hear what you're saying. No one trained you. You figured it out, and you turned out just fine. But unfortunately, that's not how most people learn or grow, and it's not a very supportive workplace environment. We have to be very conscious, especially if you're in a leadership role, that our teams are communicating to our new hires that we want to help them. We want to grow them, especially our brand new vet assistants, those that maybe just graduated vet tech schools. We're here to help and grow you in this hospital. When we don't have that type of culture, when we're not providing that information and we are providing the hazing of you figured out, you make the mistakes, what ends up happening is those people leave. And then we're even more short-staffed because not only do those people leave, but they tell absolutely every single one of their veterinary professional friends about how your workplace sucks and how people were mean to them. The reality is that this hazing, unfortunately, doesn't just affect this one person. It affects the whole hospital. So you have a brand new or fairly green veterinary technician. It could be even a doctor. It doesn't matter who it is. They're brand new into the hospital. It could be a client service representative, first day on the job. Nobody helps them. We just leave them to the wolves. Good luck. Hope you don't get eaten. And they get eaten and they make a mistake. They, misstep and say something to a client they should have. As a doctor, they somehow mess up. As a technician or an assistant, they screw up in some way. What do you think the rest of the team does? Well, unfortunately, the rest of the team chews them up and spits them out. That's what happens. And so it becomes this very vicious circle where we have this very green individual that made a mistake, and then all of a sudden the gossip starts. And now the gossip goes like this. The veterinary technicians go up to the doctors and say, hey, you shouldn't trust the so-and-so. They just did this, and I wouldn't. If you have something you want me to do, just let me know. Don't trust that person. The client service representatives, unfortunately, chew up and spit out their own. And unfortunately, the doctors do the same. The doctors will come up to the technicians and say, ugh, it's hard to hire good help. She's so slow. And first day, you'd think she'd have done a bunch of spays before this, but she did X, Y, and Z. What a dumb mistake. So now, unfortunately, we perpetuate the belief that this individual is incompetent and can't learn, when the reality is nobody helped them. Let me be very clear. It is every single one of your jobs to help the other person learn and grow. That is across the board. No matter whether or not you're brand new in this industry or whether or not you've been here for 20, 30, 40, or maybe 50 years. I don't know. Are any of you here for more than 50 years? I don't know. That's possible. You're working into your 70s now. Good for you. So regardless of where you are in your profession, it is your responsibility to grow and train the other people. That is your job. It is a very important job because it nurtures and forms your entire hospital's culture. So be kind to each other. When you hear someone say, it's not my job to train, you automatically know, one, they're not a team player, and two, they're knowledge hoarders. And I am not a fan of knowledge hoarding. We need to have a conversation with that person and say, hey, why do you feel it's not your job to train? That's a very cynical and very narrow-minded view. Let's get into the root of why this person feels like they don't have to train others. Because the reality is that when we all train, when we all educate, when we all give our knowledge away for free, guess what? We get to retain people better and we have a happier workplace environment. Thank you so much for listening, and keep on being a unicorn.